Hey everybody, it's Charlotte, and today I'm going to be taking you through a killer ab workout. This workout is going to clock in at under 10 minutes, but it is guaranteed to absolutely roast your abs. I don't know about you, but when I try to incorporate abs in the gym, I can be kind of lazy with it and fit in my exercises in between workouts at the end or not at all. But if you go through this routine with me or take notes and do it on your own, you are absolutely sure to have sore abs the next day and feel totally accomplished with your core work. This is the HIIT style, so high intensity interval training. We're going to do one exercise for 30 seconds, followed by a plank for 30 seconds, followed by rest for 30 seconds for 4 rounds. The rest is going to be active. There will be kind of a passive stretch. I mean, active in that we're stretching, but passive in that you'll get a little bit of a rest for your core. So the first exercise we're going to do is bicycles, and then again it's going to be followed by a plank, and we're going to time it. So we'll start with the bicycles and let's get going. All right, on my count, 3, 2, and 1 for 30 seconds of bicycles. When you do bicycles, you want to make sure not to keep your legs too lifted. We're focusing on engaging the lower core here, because when you engage the lower core, you're engaging the rest of your abdominal muscles as well. Almost there. All right, that's 30. And straight into a plank. Now this one's going to be a static plank, but the next ones we're going to move around a bit. And 30 seconds on the clock, here we go. Halfway there. When you're doing your planks, make sure not to lift your hips too high. You want to keep a straight line of engagement from the tip of your head through to your heels. All right, so our first active passive rest is just going to be a seated forward fold for 30 seconds. Don't worry if you're not too flexible. I'm a yoga instructor, so I've got a lot of years of practice. Ten more seconds. All right, next ab exercise. I think there's a technical name for these, but I call them fruit roll-ups. So 30 seconds, you're going to go fully extended and then into a tuck position. And begin. This one can be a little bit hard to balance, but if you keep the weight on your tailbone, you should be all good. Straight into the plank, and this one's going to be a little bit more active of a plank. We're going to do hip dips in either direction. And 30 seconds begins now. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew, I'm starting to feel it. Okay, next stretching rest. Just take the knees tucked and pull them into the chest to give the core a nice release. And we're still going in 30-second increments, so we've got about 15 left here. You can rock and roll around a little bit if that feels nice. All right, getting ready for the next round. We're going to do reclined leg raises. And there's a little bit of variation in this one. It's not just keeping your legs hovering off the ground, but you're gonna go 2/3 of the way down, 1/3 of the way down, and then hovering over the ground for 30 seconds. All right, 30 on the clock. So right here, and then hover, and then back up. This one's really hard. Now one more plank variation. This one is going to be push-up planks or multi-level planks. You'll begin on your forearms and then one arm up and then the other to a high plank. You'll understand what I mean in just a second. And again, 30 seconds on the clock, starting now. This one is particularly great because it works your obliques as well as your central core. All right, now another session of active rest, active passive, and a nice seated stretch for 30 seconds. Let's take a butterfly position and just fold over your feet to whatever depth is comfortable for you. We're getting ready for our last session among these 4 sets of core exercises. This last one is going to be flutter kicks. A lot of flutter kicks are pretty hard, but they're really effective at working the lower core. And you're going to want to make sure that your low back doesn't rise off the ground. So if it's helpful, you can make a diamond with your hands and place it under your spine. But if you feel pretty confident in your core stability, you can just anchor that low back to the ground. All right, so 30 seconds of flutter kicks, beginning right now. Now, our last round of planks, we're doing 3, but only one is a central plank. We're doing a 30-second central plank and then 30 seconds for each side to finish off. So we'll do our central plank first. And for this final plank, I like to rock forward and backward. And so 30 seconds begins right now. At this point, you should really feel it, especially in your low core, but keep pushing through and try to keep the spine neutral. Now switch right over to your right side. You can use the forearm, or if it's more comfortable, you could even go up onto the hand and take the other hand and rest it on the hip. 30 seconds, side plank, starting now. Now it's tempting to let the hips fall here. Try to keep a nice straight line of engagement between your shoulder and your ankles. All the way through the hips, straight alignment. Almost there, about 5 more seconds. We're gonna switch right to the other side. Anchor the forearm or the hand, stack the feet on top of one another and lift up. And take whichever hand is not on the ground, of course, and rest it on the hip. Use this as a little bit of a lever to keep your balance, and you can even press into the hand with the hip a little bit to ensure that you're lifting up through the obliques. Good job, you guys. That's the conclusion of our 10-minute killer ab workout. I recommend taking a reclining twisting stretch after this. So I'll show you my favorite one now. So my favorite twist to release the abs is to take one leg, cross it over the other, and let the knees fall to one side. You can take 5 breaths here. And when you're ready, just take the opposite leg, cross it over, and let the knees fall to the other side. All right, now your core should feel super worked and relaxed after that. I like to do this particular core workout at least once a week. I know that if I fit this in amongst all the other strength and conditioning that I do, that I will have some rock hard abs. Working on my 6-pack. I think I'm almost there. Thanks for following along with me today. Hopefully you learned something new about how to engage your core. I particularly like the high intensity interval training method. Thank you so much for following along with me today. Again, my name is Charlotte. Don't forget to follow my main OnlyFans and check out all my other social media channels. My name is Coco Yogi on everything. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you here next time.